Hello, this is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe. I'm here live to take your U.S. immigration related questions. Put your questions in the comments now so I can answer your questions. So I'm logging in here on Saturday to take your questions. I'm only focusing on questions. So to start, let me just let you know that if you need to get wild questions come in, so please send your questions right away so I can answer your questions. If you need to assistance with getting your work permit, getting your green card while staying here in the US, that's what we do. So you can go to the link in the profile. So you have link in profile on Instagram, LinkedIn profile on YouTube and Facebook, as well as TikTok. Go there and you'll see everything you need to get in touch. We have staff that work around the clock. So every day of the week, we are taking calls to be able to schedule your appointment. So feel free to call us at any time to schedule your appointment. So consultation fees $150. What options does F1 visa holder have to get the green card? So usually if you come here as a student, you get your degree. That could be a possible option. You could get work through an employer related to the field that you're in. That's one option. If you come here, you meet someone, get married, that's another option. And then other alternative options just depend on your circumstances. Our marriage-based petitions required interview for green card. No, we've been getting them waived. We're getting more interviews waived than not. So I often say this right now at this time with the trend, if you are called in for an interview, you need to make sure you prepare. Don't take it for granted because it means that they may have questions for you and you don't want to be caught off guard. I have a pending asylum since 2016. Can I call you? So keep in mind, we don't, with the asylum cases, unless you have some kind of extraordinary circumstances, we don't do anything to speed up the process. There are ways to go ahead and do that, maybe through a lawsuit, possibly, through those kinds of means. But it's really nothing we can do outside of taking additional steps like filing a lawsuit or asking for an expedite on extraordinary circumstances. But we usually do that for our clients where we file their asylum application. Hi, attorney. How long after biometrics is the wait for work permit? I'd say 6 months to 12 months. So I'm working my way around just to keep this organized. So go ahead um, and put your questions, and then as soon as I make my way around, I'll answer. Does RFE for medical is a good sign for approval? Absolutely. We're very excited now when we get RFEs for the medical because it means that they just want that. And once they get it, they're gonna approve it. We've been getting approvals after sending the medical in. How long is it taken for the waiver to be answered when you have a felony and you qualify for the waiver? So waivers, it depends on the circumstances. If you're outside of the country, those are taking longer. If you're in the country, they tend to process the waiver along with the adjustmental status process. So you could be looking at less than a year with an interview still if they want to ask more questions about it. Okay, yep. I just saw something come up on TikTok, so I was just tending to it. So I would say it could range from anywhere to a little under a year to even up to 2 years. Um, I'm still waiting for I-601A. When the PIP being applications, do we need to start from beginning? So with the PIP, now you're probably going to be at an advantage. You're going to have a big advantage, and let me tell you why. you've already filed the I-130, already got it approved. That's how you got to the I-601A waiver, right? This is a special waiver that's given to spouses and spouses of citizens and green card holders, as well as, I believe, children of parents, citizen and resident parents as well. If they came into the country without inspection or permission at some point in the past, this is a way that they can still get forgiveness and go to the embassy for the interview. But remember that President Biden is going ahead and he is implementing this new PIP program. So what this PIP does is you have to apply for PIP first. That's parole in place. And then once you get the parole in place, you then proceed with adjustment of status, which you already have your I-130 petition that's approved. So now all you have to do is file the I-485, the adjustment of status application, once you get the PIP. Can I proceed? My marriage-based green card after CVIS has been terminated. Marriage-based green card, if you're married to a U.S. citizen and this is not any type of restricted type of visa, like for example, you have the C1D that's restrictive. You have J1 that has a 2-year foreign residency requirement. I just booked an appointment. Awesome. I can't wait to speak with you. I'm looking forward to speaking with you. Or Attorney Bria. I don't know who you're scheduled with. But we have me and Attorney Bria. Attorney Bria works closely with me to make sure we're helping all our clients. I know you might not be aware, but I must say, yes, I am very much aware. I'm very much aware, but it's something that I can't really, because of confidentiality issues. But thank you so much. I appreciate it. What options does foreign lawyer have to work and get green card in the U.S.? It depends. No, you do have to be licensed, as an attorney in a state, one or more states. And usually, if you come here as a foreign lawyer, you can get your I believe your LLM, and then you'd be able to pass a bar in a state and in one or more states, and then move forward there. So it depends on what are you coming here to do? There may be a path for a national interest waiver, just depending on the kind of work you're going to do. Or an employer can petition for you. Now, what kind of work? Law degrees offers a lot of flexibility to do a lot of work. So let's see. How long it take to get your EAD when you renew? So we're seeing about 6 months, 4 to 6 months. I have a H-1B. It's 6 years next year. I don't want to make my green card with my actual employer. So then you have to find another employer and they have to file the petition. If you want to stay here and get the green card, they have to file the petition and adjustment of status before your time expires. So time is of the essence there. As a person that has overstayed, can I apply for a 110? So an I-10. I'm not sure what the I-10 is. Oh, an I-10. I think that's an I-10. So yes, absolutely. Now we have good news about we are starting our I-10 services. So this law firm will now be helping clients to get their I-10. So this is the tax identification number. If you do not qualify for a social security number, this helps you to continue to conduct business in the United States. And the IRS, I just became certified as a certified acceptance agent. That means that I can review the documents, certify your original documents, verifying your identity, and then apply on your behalf to get that I-10 number. So I think if you're talking, it looks like I-10 means I-10, the I-10 number. Absolutely, you can apply for it even if you've overstayed, but there is a process, and that's what I work I represent the client through that process and help with any issues. And the good thing with my service is that you don't have to send your original documents. So I certify your documents. I make sure that they are authentic document identifying documents, and then sign off on it and submit the application. And then we move forward with the application process through the IRS. I really appreciate you answering questions. So go ahead, call us, schedule some time. I am going to be making an official announcement, but I wanted to let you know that we're launching this new service in the law firm, and then we will add a button on Linktree so that you all can start accessing it. But you can always call to get the quotation if you want a head start. How long it take to get oath ceremony after pass N400. So usually, I have been in the office with my clients during the past year, and they have gotten it right on the spot. Sometimes it takes maybe a week. Sometimes they say come back later in the day. I am seeing they're more pushing the ceremonies right on the spot. But sometimes if for example, I once had a client that the officer said, "Do you plan to travel in the next week or two?" And when my client said no, he did the oath on the spot. Um, but if he did not do it on the spot, or if he said he was going to travel, then that means that they would have delayed that application process. All right. So, good evening. Do you know if the registry is still a viable option to get the green card? Do you know if it's still in the pipeline? If you came into the country, I believe on or before January 1st, 1970, I have to look at the specific date, but it's the 1970s, then you can still qualify, but it's very rare that you have people now that have entered on or before 1970s. So that's where the problem is. What is time interval to reapply for renewal of work authorization before it expires? I say 6 months. Overstay mother file I-130 was approved, set to do fingerprint, but was 20 days after, and the next letter was I was denied, not sure. So that whenever you have denials, we need to talk. So definitely get assistance. I'd like to speak with you. Go ahead, go to the link in the description of this video, schedule your appointment. Thanks for everything you do and your amazing team. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Can I have a consultation from UK? Yes, we do phone and video consultations. So we do consults all over the world. I'm an LPR since 2006, thinking to apply for citizenship, but I got arrested for battery and disorderly conduct in 2018 because I've argued with my ex-wife. I do 15 days in jail and pay fines. So what they do look at is they look at your good moral character in the past 5 years. So you can possibly overcome this issue, this misconduct, and then we would have to also examine. So get in touch with us. I definitely see your case being workable here. But we would have to look at what the statute in the state to see if it falls under a crime involving moral turpitude, and if it could possibly even lead to any kind of removal issues. You were just sentenced to 15 days, so it's very unlikely because they usually look if you spend a year or more sentence and it's a felony, that could be a big problem and you may be deported. But in your case, it looks like a lesser charge, and because of that, you would just have to apply more than 5 years because they're just going to look 5 years back. So 2008 is way more time, way more, I mean, way farther than 5 years, right? So you have a chance here, but get in touch with us, talk to us. We definitely need to look through your case thoroughly to advise and move forward. But I encourage you, go ahead and get started. It's way too long, overdue. And whenever you get the chance to apply for citizenship, get it done. And I'm telling you this now, now is the time. They are a little more lenient, a little more forgiving about things like this. And keep in mind that they only look 5 years back at your good moral character. As long as you have had a good record for the remainder of the time, you will be good. Hi, what is the timeline for the work permit? So it depends on what type. For family based and marriage based, 3 to 6 months. For VAWA, it could be 6 to 12 months. Can one be asked for a second biometrics appointment? Yes, absolutely. And it doesn't necessarily, it's not any need for panic. My son filed for me last year, July. No decision made yet, but I felt I didn't mention him on my DS 160 when I applied for a tourist visa. Will this be looked at as misrepresentation? What should we do? Yes, it's very, very likely that this is going to be a problem. It has been a problem with other people. It's a very common problem that if you didn't disclose that you had a child when you were applying for an immigration benefit, then it can come back to definitely result in misrepresentation, or they may ask you to show proof that you're the child's father, and when you are, then issue misrepresentation if you don't have a valid explanation. F1 category, unmarried son of US citizen. My PD is July 2016, and I was DQ'd October 2022. How long is my wait time to get an interview letter? So, yeah, once you're DQ'd, I would say it's probably coming up now, sometime soon. I've seen the wait time range from a year and a half to 2 years. So start looking out for that interview, and don't do anything that's gonna disqualify you, like get married. All right. Post office said it was mailed to my address, but did not receive it. What should I do? You have to apply for a replacement. And since the post office said they delivered it to the right address, they may not accept it as their mistake. Can I travel to Mexico for a planned vacation before my oath ceremony on July 18th? No, I would say this because guess what? If you travel and then you come back to your oath ceremony, there's a form you have to fill out and you have to disclose that you travel. When they see that, they're going to tell you, okay, we have to reassess your travel history. Go home. You're not going to get to do that oath ceremony. Go home, and we'll send another oath ceremony as long as everything is still okay with your with the extra check that they have to do. So I would say, if you want to become a citizen, do not travel before your oath ceremony, or call them, let them know you're trying to travel. I know it's right around the corner now, but see if there's some way that they can push up your ceremony, if they can fit you into a ceremony a closer date. Maybe that's a way you could get there, because I know weddings can be a big deal for the family. How long when get married to wait on green card? I would say if you're in the country, up to a year. If you're outside of the country, about 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years. How long does it take to get travel document based on VAWA? I'd say 6 to 12 months. Can your child who's a U.S. citizen file for undocumented father? If when the child turns 21, they can, but not when they're under 21. Hello. What happened if the main beneficiary of a petition for sister of a deceased American citizen after? So this in this case, there may be ways to do humanitarian reinstatement that can help you to still get to the US and get your green card despite the death, but it just depends on all the time in here. I applied for VAWA 3 years ago, and I got an RFE for additional request for evidence to prove I married my husband in good faith. and also proof of residence. We didn't live together for too long. Doesn't matter that you didn't live together for too long. What matters is you did live together, and what you can do. So that's where you have to be very creative. If you didn't live together very long, it means probably you didn't have joint bills, you didn't have you didn't have a lot of documentation showing you lived together. But what we do in cases like this is we use any other available evidence, like if friends and family were aware that you're living together, or if you can track back to the landlord or other people that were aware that you're living together to get a statement from them. That can help, along with a detailed explanation as to why you don't have extensive documentation showing joint residence. How long does it take to get the work permit after biometrics? So we don't usually count after biometrics because it's all over the place, but I would say 6 to 12 months after filing. Just received RFE for medical only under SIJS. I think that is how long for green card after typically. So that means you already applied for adjustment of status and you're through at SIJS. So I would say about 6 months, 2 to 6 months to get the green card approval. I share a bank account with my sister. Will that affect proof of funds? Um, so uh, it depends. There may be questions about, is this person that's on the bank account a household member? Does SIJS petitions get deferred action? Yes. So that's a part of their policy now. If my son and daughter are here with me, age 17 and 19. How long it takes them to get the green card? I'd say under a year, as long as they qualify. You're a U.S. citizen, they're under 21, then, I'd say under a year. We got married and we have been living together for some time before we got married. When can we file? I'd say right now, as long as you have good evidence. Don't wait. Get the paperwork in. How long after T visa it takes to get the green card? So there's an early process. I would say about a year and a half to 2 years if you do the application early. If you decide to wait the 3 years first, then you wait 3 years, apply for adjustment of status, and then you'd be looking at another another year and a half to 2 years. Okay, so educate it. So yes, definitely educational. Thank you for that. Go ahead, go to the link in the profile of this video, and you will be able to get in touch with us that way. If the fiance visa has been approved, can my fiance come and work in the country immediately or wait? So no, they have to apply for the work permit once they come here on the fiance visa. How long it takes to get green card from I-136 petition. The green card from the I-130 petition, it depends on who's petitioning for you. So there are categories. It can range anywhere from 6 months to even 20 years. If adjustment of status denied, do you automatically get deported? So they do have language in every letter that says you have 33 days to leave the country. Right now, as long as you're a law-abiding immigrant, you're not on the enforcement priority list, it's very unlikely that they're going to take any actions against you. So it's not common right now to see any actions after the deportation. If you have been released on your own recognizance, can you marry a U.S. citizen to adjust your status? If you have a pending court date, so you have to go to court, it's not going to be as easy as just applying for it. You can apply for the petition, but adjustment of status may be out of the USCIS jurisdiction. So It just depends on if you have a pending proceeding. What happens if you get divorced after the N400 application has already been submitted? If it depends, if the N400, that's US citizenship application, depends on your spouse, you being married to your spouse for 3 years to get it early, then you're gonna have a problem. But if you already met that 5-year residency requirement, it's gonna be fine. Should be fine. They shouldn't deny you on that basis. But as I always say, when in doubt, get help. Um, Go ahead, put your question in the, okay, so here. I applied my I-130, I-45 on March 1st, 2024, got my work permit social on marriage based, and how long it take to get the green card? I'd say under a year, so 10 to 12 months for the green card. And if you're lucky and everything is done correctly, you could get it in the mail. Can overstay visa get forgiveness? Um, it's so in some circumstances, yes. If you are, it just depends though on what you qualify for. What are you applying for? How long I-130 petition take? Uh, how long I-130 petition takes to come through green card holders? So I would say 12 months, 9 to 12 months. Green card denied, then the letter said you are in removal proceedings, so check on that. Does VAWA case, work permit, and travel permit come on at the same time? Most cases, yes. It's gonna come on what's called a combo card that says you can use it to travel as well. Can F1 visa status for green card by self? Apply for the green card by yourself. It depends. Say you graduate and say you can show you have exceptional ability, um, or you qualify for national interest waiver based on a master's degree, and some goals that will meet the criteria. Sure. So it's going to depend. And then suppose you get married, then that to a US citizen, that's another way. What if you a parent, so you have a parent and now the parent is like, okay, it's time to apply for the green card, and you fit, say you're under 21 or you're over 21, but the length of the F1 allow you to apply for adjustment of status because your priority date is current. So yeah, it just depends on your circumstances. Under the new law coming up, would a US citizen child 24 file for his dad who is undocumented? Great question. We have not seen that parents of citizens will get the benefit, the parole in place. Maybe they'll expand it just depending on how the election goes. But right now they're focusing on spouses and children of US citizens. I have not heard about parents of US citizens. But let me tell you why they're not focusing. Let me think about this. Actually, yeah, because you do have some parents that cross the border without permission, and they too need to make sure they can apply for adjustment of status, but they need to get it fixed through parole in place, but that they have not announced it for parents yet. You never know. We might see that next year if Biden gets voted in. I want to know if the T visa receipt can be used to get a driver's license in Florida. So I have been doing research on this myself to determine whether this is permissible. And in our Lawyers Association, it is listed there is a way. So you'd use a receipt notice and then go into the DMV in Florida. You'd have to have your original receipt notice showing that you applied. But I believe it was on the DMV acceptance list that we get from our Lawyers Association. So while I have not confirmed 100% yet, I did see it there. For example, with the prima facie for VAWA, it does allow to get the driver's license, and it's on that acceptance list that I was able to realize that the DMV allows for those with prima facie. So the same goes with the T visa receipt. Is that I believe they give it for a year, the driver's license for 1 year. My mother's a U.S. citizen and I am over 21. Can I apply for adjustment of status? It's going to be more complicated. If you overstayed, or even if you didn't overstay, do you have a current priority date? Okay, so we can look at it two ways. If you are here, say you're visiting right now, and you got news, your priority date is current because your mom filed your petition a long time ago, and now things are moving along and you're at the top of the wait list, and you're not out of status, you haven't overstayed, then yes, adjustment of status is possible. But if you overstayed and you're to over 21, then it's going to be a more complex process. Filed I-130, October 2023, case ready for review, June 14, spouse of U.S. citizen overseas. How long? So I-130, October 2023. So it's taking around 9 months to 12 months, and maybe even less right now. So could be less, could be more, but I'd say, plan for 9 to 12 months after the filing. USCIS requested RFE from me in May. Is that a good or bad thing? RFEs are going to differ based on your circumstances. What are they asking? That's a question. If they ask for your medical, that's right now I'm taking that as good news. But if they ask for a whole bunch of other things, or they question the validity of your application, question the validity of your marriage, then you're going to have a more complex problem. If you get deported, can you come and apply? It's possible, but it depends on the reason you were deported. And this, you're definitely going to need to talk to us here at the law firm to determine how to get back. All right, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate it. Should be back on Monday. I'm back on track on Monday. So look out for me at around 12:30. But what I say right now is the schedule is really busy. I try to come on as I usually tried for 12:30, but no, sometimes my schedule is all over the place for right now. So follow me, like, subscribe. As soon as you see me live and you're available, hop on, and then you can ask your questions. All right. Thanks so much, everyone, for your time. Have a great Saturday. Bye bye.